Hello, today I'm in Fredrikstad, in front of something called the Rebel House. I don't know what it is, at the riverside anyway. And I'm looking to go along the river for 2 or 3 kilometers, which can be done using a free boat service. And I think the free boat service is now approaching. The red one. I'm probably on the wrong bank to catch it. So I'm going to walk in the direction I want to go inland until there's a bridge I can cross. I don't fancy crossing that highway bridge there. So I can watch where this boat lands. So that lady who's running away there just told me that I'm on the right side of the river and it's really just a walk. It's not worth taking one of the boats. And she's English but lived here 40 years. So I'm walking inland. Sounds like it's only half an hour. I've been to Fredrikstad maybe 4 times. The first time I would have said it's a horrible place and nothing is there. But it was winter, it was sleeting in my face and blowing a gale. That doesn't put you in the right mind to see anything. Then I've been twice to the old town, which is a very, very old town, preserved inside a star-shaped stone fort. And now I'm on the modern town side. And it's a lot nicer than I thought. Every time I come I like it more. So there's the free ferry service docking, which I could catch, but it's only 1 stop, so it's not worth it. Look at this. This looks like it should be in Scotland. Seriously solid stone building. Those windows, I'm reminded of Charles Rennie Mackintosh's designs. I think I'm just going to nip in and ask them. I did go in and ask the barman, but he was an Eastern European middle-aged guy who'd just started working there. He had no idea what it was. I can look it up. I just realised something, and that is that the other bank is actually an island called Krakerø. There's a massive new shopping centre on it with a food hall and everything. With so many places in Norway, the beautiful old town is being swallowed up gradually by modern buildings. And here comes another of the free river boats. I think it's a wonderful thing to have in your town as a boat service, paid for by the commune, that just run constantly up and down. Sounds like they're not yet electric. Maybe they are. Oh yes, they are. It says so on the side. In Norwegian it tells you. I should have waited a minute before giving my opinion. There it goes, past the river frontage of Krakerø. Oh, and it's coming here. But I don't want to catch it. So I'm going to walk on. Today is a Monday, but it's a national holiday for schools and I think for people at work as well. And it's Pinsa, which translates as Pentecost, a Christian holiday concerning an event in the New Testament where I can't remember what. I think it involved mainly Jesus's disciples, his extended family of disciples. Yeah, not sure. Pentecost. Over there, that shed-like thing, it says on it, Båthuset Scene, or scene, we would pronounce it. That means theatre, scene. So it's a riverside theatre. I'm liking this town. So I came here because two friends of mine who were originally based in Oslo, one of them still is actually, Per Hess, the other one, Risto Holopainen, is an artist and a musician and composer who I've collaborated with for very sporadically for 10 years now, and who gave me a lot of advice in the first year or two as I started up as a music YouTuber about, you know, recording, software to use, how to mix, that kind of thing. And they were giving a performance of light and sound involving a modular synthesizer, some distributed drums used as speakers, and neon and argon coloured lights which interacted together to produce some very experimental music. That's why I'm in Fredrikstad, but I stayed overnight just to see a bit more of the city that I've seen before. It's spring, so we have horse chestnut trees in flower, conkers in the autumn. There's an old wooden boat. Wooden boats are almost always beautiful, but they always have less room inside than the fiberglass equivalent, and apparently owning a wooden boat is like standing in a gale, emptying your wallet into the wind. So I'm looking now, Fredrikstad Motorfabrik, that means Fredrikstad engine factory, engine manufacturers. I like industrial things like this. Not everyone does. So, I'm a person who makes music. That's one of my main occupations. Not always convinced that I should be doing it. And yesterday, oh, look at this at the back of me. Yesterday, I had a really negative reaction to music. I went into a cafe because I desperately needed lunch to feed my diabetic habit. And I went into Cafe Egon, one of the few things open on a Sunday, and it had food that I really fancied. It had full English breakfast, all sorts of things, but there was music playing, and it was playing a bit too loud. And when I explored the room, a very large room, there was a speaker about every 2 meters, maybe even closer together than that. So there must have been 30 speakers mounted up in this room, up near the ceiling. And I asked the barman, is it possible to turn it down at all? And he said, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to do that. That sounded like bullshit to me, maybe true. So in the end, I gave him the menu back and said, sorry, I can't deal with the music, and I left. And I went to eat at a much less appetizing place that had no music at all, a place called Backstube. A German company, I think, essentially selling baked goods. Yeah, music is a bad thing. Maybe there's too much music in the world. Maybe I shouldn't be making more. Maybe I should be destroying music. Always attracted to motorcycles. So this is a shop right in the centre of Norwegian city, and on the quayside, selling almost motorbikes. Basically, they're all very small capacity bikes and off-road fun things, and I'm guessing scooters too. A little is better than nothing. Okay. In Oslo they have fragments of poetry and prose by famous... Wait, the same thing again? A little is better than nothing. Says who? Like, what about a little knowledge? A little knowledge is dangerous, I heard. Okay, this is going to go on and on. So now I'm approaching the bridge at which the lady told me I need to turn left. There's a massive sign on the bridge basically saying there's a live electric cable anchoring is forbidden. So the cable must run along the bed of the river here. Probably the mains cable to the old town, or to that bank anyway. There's another beautiful boat. Yeah, you can imagine the horror of hooking an iron or steel anchor onto a cable carrying thousands of volts. Whew. Yeah. Quick view backwards towards the sea. Yeah, I've just realised that's a swing bridge. That's the operating office up there. But the whole thing must swing open to admit very tall masts. Sarpsborg is the next town, and apparently it's an industrial hell. Also, I'm told, you know, chemical works and that kind of thing. Gamlebyen means boat to the old town. Sissignon is just a district of this city, Fredrikstad. Vala, that means whaler, and Krakerøy, which is the island I talked about. Now you might think that says sky, but it actually says she, and it means cloud. Another beautiful old building there. Now I turn left towards the railway station. Oslo one way, going north, Svinesund going south. Svinesund is the piece of water separating Norway from Sweden. We're not far from the Swedish border here. And Svinesund is where you go for the harry handle, which is an unkind word to describe chavs doing cheap shopping over the Swedish border and bringing it all back, alcohol and meat, bringing it all back to Norway. Looks like the biggest church in town, and it's very similar, if not identical, to about 3 other red brick churches in Oslo. Probably the same architect. I just passed a sign which tells me this is not a church, this is Fredrikstad Cathedral, Domkirke. On the train to heading back towards Oslo now. And because I'm diabetic, I have to kind of control my blood sugar very carefully. So like the scoot I made to catch this train would have burned up a lot of sugar from my bloodstream. And I had just had time to run into the shop and buy this, which is a sort of swamp-coloured smoothie, avocado and mango. Without that, I could have been in trouble in the next hour. With my blood sugar dropped, I would have felt sick, sweating, dizzy, and eventually in a coma. Not very funny. So I'm like one of these fine old vintage motorcycles. I have to carefully meter the air supply, the petrol, the oil, otherwise the thing breaks down. But I'm okay. Got the smoothie that will take me to the next place in safety. Container park hides everything, including the ferry port. I spent a summer in intimate contact with these things, helping to install radiation detectors on the east coast ports of the UK. I was like the sort of academic, not the man who did the heavy work of bolting these things together. Well, ferry port a little bit, and again we're looking at an island outside of Moss, whose name escapes me at the moment. This time you'd expect this name to be pronounced ski, but it's not, it's also she. But I mean it's the same as skiing. S-K-I, she. We're in a tunnel, and we often are in tunnels in Norway. Because of the way the country is, so much rock, so many mountains, then developing more direct routes has involved developing tunneling technology. So Norwegians have become world leaders at that technology. The history of this place is always there, much more clearly than it is in, say, in the UK. So yeah, they had to develop tunnels, they got good at tunneling, and now that technology is exported all over the world. Here it is, Oslo.
The next station is Oslo Central Station. This is our final stop.
As you can see, this is a train that runs between two countries, Gothenburg in Sweden and Oslo. Sometimes it goes to Malmö, which is also in Sweden.